Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're heading deep beneath the waves to explore a creature that's
Ah.
as captivating as it is mysterious, honestly, the oarfish.
Mm.
You know, it's some amazing material, okay? And it's so clear that you're fascinated by
No.
these real-life sea serpents.
And for good reason. The Oarfish is a fish that truly blurs the lines between scientific fact and captivating
Oh,
legends.
absolutely. Just imagine this. You're sailing the open ocean centuries ago, and
Yeah.
suddenly you spot this enormous, shimmering silver creature, longer than a school bus even, with a fiery red fin. It's
Yeah.
rippling along its back. It's no wonder that ancient mariners spun tales of sea serpents.
And those tales weren't entirely unfounded. Oarfish can grow
Really?
over 36 feet long. That's longer than most school buses, really. It's easy to see how their immense size and sinuous movements could inspire those legendary sea serpent stories.
Yeah,
I think so.
it's mind-blowing, isn't it? But, there's so much more to the oarfish than
Mm-hmm.
just its impressive length. I mean, they live in the mesopelagic zone,
Mm.
which is also known as the twilight zone, this place where sunlight barely penetrates, between like 650 and 3,000 feet below the surface.
I mean,
Just
yeah.
picturing this otherworldly environment makes you
Mm.
realize how little we actually know
Yeah.
about the ocean's depths.
The mesopelagic zone it really is a truly unique environment. It's a place of intense pressure and minimal light and just unique life forms that have adapted to survive in these extreme conditions. And the oarfish, with its shimmering silver scales and that striking red dorsal fin that runs the length of its body, is one of its most enigmatic inhabitants, for sure.
When I think about them living in that near darkness, it makes me wonder, how do they even find food? I mean, it's
Yeah.
a completely different world down there.
That's a great question. They primarily feed on plankton and small fish and squids. And despite their imposing appearance, they're actually completely harmless to humans. They rely on those tiny teeth to
Yeah.
filter food from the water.
So they're gentle giants, really.
Yeah.
But that makes their connection to these ancient legends and myths even more intriguing. You mentioned sea serpents. But in Japan, the oarfish has a much more specific,
Yeah.
and some might say ominous, reputation, right?
So yeah, in Japanese folklore, the oarfish is known as Ryugu no Tsukai, which translates to messenger from the sea god's palace. It's believed that when oarfish appear near the surface, or wash ashore even, it's a sign that the dragon king Ryujin is angry and a calamity, like an earthquake or tsunami, might be on its way.
Oh, I've heard about that. There have been some instances where oarfish sightings seem to precede actual seismic events, which makes you wonder, is there something to these ancient beliefs?
There have been some pretty striking examples, actually. Dozens of oarfish were found stranded on beaches in northern Japan back in 2010, just a year before the devastating Tushoku earthquake and tsunami hit the region. And in 2018, multiple oarfish sightings in Taiwan were followed by a magnitude 6.4 earthquake.
It's definitely a chilling coincidence,
Yeah.
but it's hard to ignore. Though, from what I understand, scientists aren't entirely convinced about the direct link, are they? I mean,
Yeah.
there are other explanations for
Mhm.
why these oarfish might be coming to the
Yeah,
surface.
you're absolutely right. While those stories are compelling, scientists are cautious
Huh.
about drawing a direct connection between oarfish appearances and natural disasters. There's a lot more research to be done before we can say for sure if the oarfish is truly a harbinger of doom or if there are other factors at play.
So if we're kind of
Yeah.
stepping back from the myths for a sec, what are the scientific theories about why oarfish sometimes strand themselves?
Yeah.
What could be?
Yeah.
What could be driving them away from those, deep, dark waters they call home?
Well, one theory focuses on those environmental changes we were discussing. Remember, the mesopelagic zone is pretty stable, but any significant shift, like those caused by tectonic activity,
Yeah.
can disrupt those conditions.
Right, like those underwater earthquakes we were talking about.
Exactly. These tectonic shifts can generate strong currents that push the oarfish towards shallower waters. And because they've adapted to that deep sea life, these sudden changes in pressure
Mm-hmm.
and temperature, even light, can be incredibly stressful.
Yeah, it's like they're being forced
Yeah,
out of their comfort zone.
precisely. And this is where another factor comes into play. Their physiology.
Yeah.
Oarfish are, well, incredibly fragile creatures, really. Their skeletons are made of cartilage, not
Yeah.
bone, which makes them much more susceptible to injury.
So even a slight change in their environment could have a huge impact on their well-being.
That's right. And we also have to consider the impact of pollution, as we know. Human activities are having a detrimental effect on on ocean ecosystems. And the mesopelagic zone is no exception. Pollution can weaken the oarfish,
Yeah.
making them more vulnerable to stranding.
So it's not just about physical forces,
Mm-hmm.
like currents,
Mm.
but also these more
Mm-hmm.
subtle, yet equally powerful, I guess, environmental stressors.
Exactly. And it's worth noting that strandings aren't unique to oarfish. Many other deep-sea creatures also wash ashore from time to time, suggesting that there are broader ecological factors at play.
That makes it a reminder that we need to consider the interconnectedness of all life in the oceans. But getting back to the oarfish specifically, you mentioned their unique skeletal structure. I remember reading that their long, slender bodies make them incredibly efficient swimmers. Is that true?
That's absolutely true. They have a unique way of moving through the water, almost like a ribbon undulating in a gentle current. They use their entire body to propel themselves, rather than relying solely on their tail fin, like many other fish.
I can almost picture it. It's almost graceful, in a way.
It is. And it's likely an adaptation to their deep-sea environment. In those depths, where food is scarce and predators lurk, efficiency of movement is crucial for survival.
That makes sense. But speaking of predators, what kind of threats do oarfish face in those depths?
Wow. Because they're so elusive, it's difficult to say for certain, however. We know that large sharks, like the six-gill shark, are known to inhabit the mesopelagic zone and could pose a threat to oarfish.
I guess that makes those shimmering scales and red fin even more important. They must provide some kind of camouflage in that dim light.
That's a possibility. Or perhaps the red color serves a signaling purpose within their own species, allowing them to communicate in the darkness. There's still so much we don't know about their behavior.
It's a reminder that even with all our scientific advancements, there are still vast areas of our planet that remain largely unexplored. And the oarfish, with its blend of science and mythology, is a perfect symbol of that.
I couldn't agree more. It's a creature that sparks our curiosity and reminds us that there's always more to learn.
It's amazing how one creature can embody so much. We've talked about the science and the myths and the ecological side of things, but I think there's one more layer we need to explore: the oarfish's place in human culture, beyond those ancient sea serpent tales.
Absolutely. The oarfish has captured the imagination of cultures around the world, appearing in folklore and art, and even modern storytelling. It's a testament to how deeply we connect with the ocean and the mysteries it holds.
Yeah. It makes me think about how we, as humans at least, tend to project our own hopes and fears onto the unknown. The oarfish becomes a canvas for those emotions, a symbol of both wonder and potential danger.
I think you're right. Take, for example, those Polynesian cultures, where the oarfish is revered as a guardian spirit, protecting fishermen and sailors from harm. It's a symbol of safety and guidance, really, in a vast and often unpredictable ocean.
Yeah, it's a completely different perspective than the harbinger of disaster we see in Japan.
Yeah.
It shows that even with a creature as seemingly universal as the oarfish, cultural interpretations can vary widely.
Exactly. And those interpretations can tell us a lot about how different cultures view their relationship with the natural world. In some Southeast Asian cultures, for instance, the oarfish is believed to guide lost souls to the afterlife. It's like a bridge between the world of the living and the realm of the spirit.
Yeah. It's almost poetic, isn't it? This creature that lives in those dark depths, rarely seen by human eyes, becomes a conduit to the unknown.
It really is. And I think it speaks to the power of storytelling, even in our modern age, where we have access to so much scientific knowledge. We're still drawn to these creatures that blur the lines between reality and myth.
Right. Because at the end of the day, we're all still searching for answers, aren't we? Trying to understand our place in the vastness of the universe. And the oarfish, with its beauty and its mystery and its ability to spark our imagination, becomes a symbol of that search.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. So, the next time you hear about an oarfish sighting, remember that it's more than just a strange fish washing ashore. It's a glimpse into a world we barely understand, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all life, and a testament to the enduring power of Dialon.
It's been an incredible journey, honestly. Exploring the world of the oarfish with you. This deep dive has been full of surprises and insights, and I hope it's encouraged you, our listener, to think differently about the creatures we share this planet with.
It's been my pleasure. And remember, the ocean is vast, and there's still so much we don't know. Who knows what other wonders are waiting to be discovered in those depths?
Maybe the next time you're at the beach, take a moment to look out at the waves and imagine what might be swimming beneath the surface. You might just find yourself pondering the mysteries of the oarfish and the stories it continues to inspire.